Hey, welcome to the Cheese Talk podcast. I'm your host, Brian Rego. Today I'm joined by Oso Bear.
Yes, sir.
He's a Bears fan, correct?
Fortunately and unfortunately. We'll see how this season goes.
And today we'll be discussing Packers, Bears, sports, and life. At first, before we get to him, I want to give a shout out to the Open Network for giving me the chance to podcast under their umbrella, the Open Network. Follow them on Twitter, Ohana_Packers. They are roughly around 45 followers away from giving away an autographed 8x10 Jair Alexander photo. Also, what's up?
Not much, man. Just having a cigar, trying to debate what I want to pull out of my freezer to have a drink with.
All right.
Having a conversation with you, and I'm ready. I'm ready for today.
Yeah. So, I said in the opening, you're a Bears fan. How long have you been a Bears fan for?
The earliest memory I have of me being a Bears fan had to have been 2007 when we were at the Super Bowl with the Colts. And I didn't know what was going on because I wasn't really into football. I was young. And I want to say my most recent memory of being fully committed to the Bears was when I was watching the NFC champ up against the Green Bay when B.J. Raji made that damn interception touchdown return. I was so that was the day my life went downhill right there, being a Bears fan. Because I knew I was going to be so committed to this team knowing it's going to hurt me.
Right. Yeah, the old B.J. Raji touchdown dance, huh? Remember that?
No, I don't want to.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy to think about the rivalry and all the key parts of games that stick in your head and haunt you, and you wish you could have back, but that
just makes what our rivalry is just that we have so many, even though the streak favors you, there's still so many moments in the games that just embedded in your head to where you constantly talk about it for years to come. That I'm sorry, there's no better rivalry than a Bears and Packers game. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, you guys got to start winning a few to make it a relevant rivalry again, though.
That'll be okay when Caleb Williams starts flashing his fingernails as he walks by on those wins the streak coming up.
Okay. So I take it you're a Caleb Williams fan?
Originally, I didn't know much about the kid. I just knew that he was the face of college for the last 2.5 years. Ever since he took over for Oklahoma, he started making a name for himself. I'm a Notre Dame fan, so I shitted on him a lot when they played us and we beat them. So, but yeah. I was like everybody else. I was afraid of him being cocky and how his media presence was. I was like, man, this kid had a chip on his shoulder. But then I get to thinking, what don't you want your quarterback to have a chip on his shoulder? Don't you want him to have a certain attitude going towards the game? And he grew on me instantly right after, watching his draft process. And I started liking the kid, knowing that we were going to get him. So I had to start opening my mind up to it. And I can honestly, officially say I'm a diehard Caleb Williams. I will die on the battlefield for this kid if he brings us these games that we need.
Is that what you were saying with Justin Fields a couple years ago when he was crowned the King of the North?
You know what? We have to rally behind our quarterbacks. You know what I mean?
That's what sucks is you guys, every fandom, every team, people get behind their quarterback, and if they get let down, then it's like they got to start all over with somebody else again. I wouldn't know what that's like. I mean, I've only been through 3 quarterbacks. So
it's not fair. You guys are not allowed to have 3 good quarterbacks back to back. It cannot happen.
My earliest memories are of Don Mikowski, and then when Favre came in for him, and then when Rodgers took over for Favre. Now I'm with Jordan Love, so I guess you could say I'm kind of spoiled.
No shit. No, not at all. I started when I got 32nd quarterback of the I don't even want to think about it.
I had a Bears fan on earlier this year, and I went and I did some research or whatever, and I had a list of all the quarterbacks since like Favre came onto the Packers, and it's just crazy how many quarterbacks the team has been through, starters, and
you know what? We're all dumb. We're dumb. We support them no matter what, except Mike Glennon. I never liked that signing. I didn't like signing the giraffe, the ginger giraffe. I didn't like that signing at all.
What are your thoughts on this year's draft picks for the Bears?
Well, obviously, we only had 4 picks to start out. We traded up into the 5th round to get Austin Booker. I think we kind of nailed the head on the first 2 picks. Obviously, we had Caleb Williams face the. There's no reason you need to be that loud. Obviously, face of college, 2.5 years. The kid can ball out. Everybody knows he can. I was really Rome Odunze was not my first wide receiver choice pre-draft. I was really hoping for like Marvin Harrison. I didn't care about Malik Neighbors. But Marvin Harrison was my guy. And then as I got to know more about Rome, with people talking to him, that's who my second choice would have been over Marvin. So I think we really hit the nail on the head for Caleb. And then on top of that, we get Rome Odunze, who's going to be his, wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2 next to DJ Moore, Keenan Allen. Personally, I like the 2 picks. And then we have the tackle we got. As of right now, I think he's going to be a depth piece to Kieran. He's going to be a depth piece for sure. He's got to come back from the torn quad that he had when he switched over his position from guard to tackle, which I'm not really too concerned about it because he's young. He can recover quick. So I'm excited with all the draft picks that we got, honestly. I'm really, really excited. I'm happy that we have Ryan Poles, who's a competent scout that can actually draft talent. We just got to our coordinators just got to do something about it now.
Yeah, you guys, I was going to say, you guys have all the weapons, and, it's just going to depend on if Caleb can stay on his feet and get the ball out of his hands before he's getting tackled,
Right.
And that always seems to be a concern for every team. You don't want your franchise quarterback getting drilled every other play. It's yeah, I guess for the Green Bay, I like our draft too. We got, Marshawn Lloyd, we got Edgerrin Cooper, we got Javon Bullard. So we got some ballers on defense, a good running back on offense. Got some versatile offensive linemen because as you have seen in the past, Green Bay is very rotational with their line. They can play almost at any position on the line, which makes drafting linemen awesome because you pick the right ones, they can go up and down the line. That's
the one thing I commend you guys is that you guys have that centerpiece and focus on linemen and wide receivers that can get all phases of the job done. And that's all I want our team to do is find people who can fit and get the job done. That's all I want.
Yeah, and you look at the receivers too. I mean, last year, how many people did we have that got the ball that made a name for themselves? You had a rookie in Jaden Reed. He had how many touchdowns combined, and you had Dubs and Christian Watson. When he's healthy, he's an animal.
That's gonna be my curiosity myself because now you have Wicks chewing on the back of Watson's heels, saying, "Hey, if you don't, pick it up, I'm going to take your spot." I mean, like you said, you got Romeo Dobbs. I like Romeo. You got Jaden Reed, Christian Watson. You got Wicks, and I really think if Watson doesn't pick up his slack injury-wise and gets back to how he was his first year with you guys, I think Wicks is going to be the sleeper to come and take more reps away from Watson because Dobbs and Reed are great. I love those. I hate it when I say it, but I like those 2 wide receivers. I like them a lot. And Wicks is showing potential to be the next wide receiver 2 or 3 if he keeps playing like he did last year.
Yeah, and this last offseason, they brought Christian Watson to UW-Madison to get his hamstring checked out and everything. So I think they have that under control. They found the issue. I think if he's 100%, he's definitely a wide receiver number 1. Because, I mean, he could beat any defensive backfield out there, with his speed. He's just a
His
freak.
route running is freaking nature. His hammies can't keep up. Is what the issue is. So maybe the doctor they sent him to was able to help him figure that out.
Yeah, and they got a whole new training staff too in Green Bay. So hopefully these hamstring injuries will quit hampering us down, and hopefully for our defense too. Hopefully we get a healthy Eric Stokes back, and he makes an impact this year too for the defense, because I think they missed him a little bit last year. Granted, his rookie year he got burnt a few times, but he had the speed to recover. He's like a 4.34 speed or something like that, so that's decently fast for a cornerback.
He can turn his hips nice.
Yeah.
He can turn his hips nice. He's got the speed to keep up with the big bodies. This is really what Stokes can do. He's really good at staying with the big body receivers that get in their face, because we all know big body receivers aren't super fast, but they aren't super slow either. But you have that good corner who can turn his hips that are fast and stay in their face. You can always change the game that way.
Absolutely. Did you guys, besides Swift, do you guys get anything else in free agency?
We picked up one of your guys, Jonathan Owens, who
Simone Biles' husband.
Simone Biles' husband. Listen, she yelled at us already, man. We got to start calling him by his real name now, okay? But I like that because he played pivotal moments for you guys that changed the game from third and twos, third and fives, and but he's a tackling monster. So I really like the depth piece there. DeAndre Swift was definitely a surprise. One of the first signing right out of free agency, we signed DeAndre Swift. He was not the running back I thought we were going to get. I was really hoping for Saquon. I'm not going to lie to you. But the more I thought about it, I was like, he's shifty. And our offensive line is not terrible. I mean, with Justin Fields, Khalil Herbert, and Roschon Johnson last year, we were top 5 rushing attack in the NFL. So we can do it. Other than that, Kevin Byard, hell of a sign right there. He's like 30-something years old, but a hell of an upgrade from Eddie Jackson because he's not afraid to tackle. He's not afraid to ball hawk. I love Eddie. The only problem I had is that he shoulder tackled too much and he went for the ball too much and didn't prioritize tackling. So Kevin Byard's a definite upgrade. Put me on the spot. Now I'm trying to think of who else we got free agency. I think those are the main 3 big names that we got. We got Ryan Bates, the center, and then we got Shelton, the center from the Rams, Ryan Bates from the Bills. 2 quality starting centers. I think we're going to have a center battle for sure, and that was our biggest issue last year is center. And you have a Super Bowl center out of Shelton, and you have Ryan Bates, who the Bills tried to keep twice after we tried to trade for him. We tried to trade for him twice, and they canceled it out. And so when they cut him, I think he was the first free agency center that we signed. So I was happy about that pick. As long as we got 2 competent centers, I am completely fine.
What do you think about Josh Jacobs and Xavier McKinney to the Packers?
Josh Jacobs I could see, because what I was surprised is that you guys signed him and everybody thought it was going to be a Josh Jacobs and Aaron Jones show, and all of a sudden Aaron Jones is bye-bye.
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs, the problem I have with Josh Jacobs and DeAndre Swift is that their ankles never stay up. They never have healthy enough ankles to stay in the game. But Josh Jacobs is dangerous. I've had him on my fantasy for years. McKinney was the surprise for me because you guys didn't have at the time, because you still had Bakhtiari on your roster. He was the surprise signing for me, and McKinney is a dog. He is like a more agile Adrian Amos for you guys, is how I would say it.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I was thinking the same thing when we picked him up. I'm like, oh, it's going to be a good 1-2 combo with Aaron Jones and Josh Jacobs. That lasted for a good hour. And within that hour, the Packers released Aaron Jones and he went to the Vikings. So
that was a move I didn't expect. I wasn't expecting the Aaron Rodgers to go, no, not Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones to go, fuck you, I'm going over here.
Yeah, it is what it is. It's a business. I mean, Jacobs is 3 years younger. comparable, stats, I guess. McKinney is definitely an upgrade from Darnell Savage.
Oh.
And especially after that drop pick 6 against the Niners in the playoffs last year. But McKinney, he's like I've been saying, he's 24, not even hitting his prime yet, and he's with us for 4 years and probably hopefully longer if he produces for us.
What do you guys sign him for? 3 years?
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah. So, and even drafting Marshawn Lloyd out of USC, I think that I don't think Jacobs will be around for his 4 years. I think they're trying to groom Marshawn Lloyd to be a running back 1 down the road.
That dude is huge. Lloyd is huge.
And then, and then they brought back A.J. Dillon on a cheap contract for a year. I mean, he wanted to be in Green Bay, and I think he's a leader in the locker room. And, I'm happy with what we did this offseason for sure.
I'm definitely happy with what we did in our offseason. With the hiring of Eric Washington, our DC, he's definitely going to be a huge upgrade from who we had last year, who we fired early in the season, the DC, and when Eberflus took over. Eric is going to be definitely the better eye in the sky for Flus, because Flus is still going to be calling defensive calls. Eric's going to be able to tell Flus, hey, this is not working. This guy's shifting here. This guy's doing this when this guy does this. And then, of course, we got the number 1 OC of the offseason out of Shane Waldron, most sought-after offensive coordinator. So I'm happy to see where we can go with that. So It's a lot of high hopes. That's all we can get. That's all we can have right now is a bunch of high hope. See where it fits in. See where the scheme plays. I'm ready for it.
Yeah. Enough of the offseason. Get the regular season started.
I'm so ready.
Who in the past, who do you think is to blame for the bad quarterback play in Chicago?
I'm going to put a lot of the blame on Getsy because he didn't adjust. He didn't adjust to anything. The Bears last year were so good on first, second possession scoring. We got down the field. Teams couldn't stop us first, second possession of the game, but he never switched the script. He never switched the script in order to make Fields play to his strengths. And because of that, Fields was in his head a lot of, I got to make a play. I got to make a hero play. I got to run. His trigger finger, he was always – I don't think Getsy groomed him how he should have been. And Matt Nagy definitely didn't help. Everybody remembers the Cleveland game when he got sacked 8-9 times in his first starting game. So I want to say coaching was a really big deal. And then Fields' lack of confidence towards the ending of his tenure here played a big part of that as well. I mean, who do you have to throw to? An injured Mooney, Equinemius St. Brown, Dante Pettis, and then we got DJ Moore last year who, got 1,000 yards receiving, but you know what I mean? That's all he had, Komet and DJ Moore. And he was thrown to a bunch of bums.
I would have thought that they would have given him. I thought that you guys are going to draft Marvin Harrison Jr. and keep Justin Fields, but have that Ohio State connection. But that didn't last long in my head. I still think he's going to do big things in Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to beat Russell Wilson, and he's going to end up being the starter at one point in Pittsburgh.
Mike Tomlin has a knack for bringing out the best in players. I think I do wish nothing but the best for Justin. Once a bear, always a bear is always the motto. So obviously, you wish nothing but the best for him. He's going to do great things in Pittsburgh. I think Mike Tomlin's going to unlock what he's been missing. So I'm excited to see where his journey is going to go. And I'm obviously going to root for him to be a starter so we can get a 4th round instead of the 6th round.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Packers. What was the deal when we traded Aaron to the Jets? Was like if he played like 65% of the games, we get like a 2nd round pick for him. 3rd play in the season, he tears his Achilles. It's like, no. But you never want to see somebody get hurt, especially someone that did so much for your franchise, you know.
Exactly. Never. And what's funny is that people on our community, toxic. There were a lot of people hoping for Justin's downfall when he left. I was like, it's not his fault that he left. What are y'all doing? You know what I mean?
He was the one quarterback for the Bears that I was, somewhat possibly afraid to play against because he was a good scrambler too, and
he could run the ball for days.
And he had a hell of an arm too. He could launch it, But when you have an offensive line that ain't protecting you, you can't play up to your potential,
I will cut it off there. In the NFL, he had some of the longest pocket times to throw. He had wide receivers who couldn't break apart, and by the time there was somebody there, the pocket collapsed after 2.5, 3 seconds. When the average throw time for a quarterback now is 2 seconds out of the pocket.
Yeah.
So there were times where he held the ball for too long, and everybody knows that you would yell at the TV, throw the ball, and you just run it. That was my biggest issue. He held the ball for too long, but half of it's the receivers that he had, and half of it is that he didn't trust his arm strength. Like, you would see it. He'd cock it back, getting ready to throw, and then he'd bring it back in and run for it. Like, I don't put the offensive line was, an issue. We had some injury problems. But like I said, he had one of the longest in-pocket presence in the NFL last year and couldn't get rid of the ball.
Yeah. Who's your all-time favorite Bear?
No, that's a loaded question, isn't it? I have to die on this hill. Lance Briggs.
Yeah, he was a hell of a player. He was a good
most people were like, why not Brian Urlacher? I was like, I love Brian. He was a good face of it. I was like, there was something about Lance Briggs' ferocity that got it for me. I can't remember what it was. I think it was a good play against one of you guys. It was in my younger years. I say that as I'm almost 29. It was in my younger years. He came up through the A gap. One of your running backs was coming up, and he laid this huge hit that launched the ball out of his hands, and I think we came back with a touchdown return. Not sure, but it was a huge hit, and that made me fall in love with Lance Briggs as a player. So Lance Briggs has to be my modern day favorite player for the Bears.
Okay. Favorite coach all time?
It would have to be Mike Ditka, right? I Lovie Smith. Mike Ditka, Lovie Smith. Lovie Smith always kept us in the games. Had his issues, but Mike Ditka ended up giving us the Super Bowl. So, unfortunately, it has to be Mike Ditka at this point. Mike Ditka would probably be my favorite Chicago Bears head coach.
Most memorable Bears game you've witnessed?
Favre night, Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Favre night, Thanksgiving. I was working retail. It was Black Friday, of course. Thanksgiving, Black Friday. So we were busy. We were only given 30-minute lunches or an hour lunch or however that was. And they had the TV in the break room. And it was coming down to the ending of the third, start of the fourth. And I did not leave that break room. I went over my break time. My boss was like, what are you doing? I told him I was not getting the fuck up. I'm watching this game through and through. We are winning on Favre night. I want to shove this in Packers' faces for the rest of their life, being like, we ruined Favre night for you guys. That is my most memorable one because it was at work. I told my boss to fuck off. I was watching the Bears win a Thanksgiving game and a Favre night game. You know what I mean? I was hyped for that game.
So that was your favorite Bears-Packers game, I assume?
That would probably be my favorite one.
All right. What are your thoughts on the new the Bears stadium proposal?
I just want it over with, man. Figure it out. Are we going to be on the waterfront? Are we going to be in Arlington Heights? I just want something done. I want something in a written contract. I want somebody to say we are building here. I want somebody to say we have parking lots. Because I've never been to Soldier Field, but I've heard parking issues that they have. I think it's definitely needed. We do need a new stadium. It's the smallest stadium in the NFL, the oldest stadium in the NFL. In my opinion, I like Arlington Heights more than I do the waterfront. It's bigger. You have more opportunity to do stuff there. You can do things over there that is not just football. So I'm hoping for Arlington Heights. I'm one of the few.
Yeah. You're going to a tailgate. What are you bringing?
Going to a tailgate. What am I bringing? Cigars. Crown Royal. That's my main drink. I'm not gonna sit here and lie about it. And then I am bringing beer brats and a grill.
And a grill. Hell yeah. Sounds like a fun time. Favorite type of cheese? I never have a show where I don't ask this question, so.
Provolone.
Provolone?
Provolone cheese is my favorite one.
I stick with the ghost pepper cheese.
Oh, that's a good one too. I haven't had it in a while, but that's really, really good.
What do you dislike the most about the Packers?
That you guys have 3 good back-to-back quarterbacks, and I'm really upset about that. You guys don't deserve it. You've had your chances.
Hey, well, if you count Jay Cutler, that's 4 good quarterbacks in a row.
I'm gonna let you have that one.
What's your honest opinion on Jordan Love? Do you think he's a franchise quarterback from what you saw?
I want to see what he does in year 2. I want to see if he can replicate it. If he can replicate, the not showing favoritism towards any one receiver. I mean, you got Josh Jacobs who can catch out of the backfield. You got Musgrave and Kraft.
Yeah.
You got Reed, Dobbs, Wicks, and you have Watson. Watson, if he's healthy, can catch the ball. I want to see if he technically this would be his sophomore year. It's just going to be his second full-time starting. I want to see if he gets out of his own little sophomore slump. I hate to say it, I like the kid, even though I have to shit on him sometimes because it's a Bears and Packers rivalry. But if he continues the path that MLF has set for him and what he can do for him, I think he will be a good quarterback in this league. Yeah.
Definitely has the weapons and the tools, so I mean,
might as well utilize it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think he fits in perfectly with Matt's offense too.
And that's the great thing about the Shanahan offense. No matter what the quarterback is, it's going to work. It's going to work.
Yeah, for sure. Although I do want to back up on that and say there are a few times I think that when we had Aaron as quarterback, he would change the play in the huddle or he'd audible out of it, and But I think Jordan Love is the perfect fit for the offense. I think we saw the best of it last year against Dallas.
Yes, yes, we did. When it counted, when they needed it.
Yeah, so if that's a sign of things to come, then we hopefully have a good season coming up for us.
I guess the only thing I can critique on him is that he's got to read his triple and double coverages better.
Yeah,
because what did your playoff season end on? A triple coverage run.
And he was running to his right, and he threw across his body to the middle. So
that
was a mistake that I could see Favre and Rodgers making. So
what's funny is I've seen a lot of people compare Love to Favre.
Yeah. Well,
I told somebody, I was like, I hope the interceptions don't follow.
Yeah. Well, there's a picture out there of those three, like in their throwing motion, and like when they're right above their head with the ball, all three of them are in the same exact position. They all look alike, and like their back foot's kind of off the ground a little bit. I mean, I don't know what it is about Green Bay quarterbacks, but that's 35 plus years of teaching, and that's.
I guess. I mean, when you only have, three quarterbacks learning from each other, Aaron Rodgers to Favre, so Favre taught Aaron Rodgers, the basics, then Rodgers taught Love. what worked for him.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what happens, and seems like everyone's bought in on Jordan Love, and they're all behind him 100%. And I don't think there's people walking on eggshells like they were around Aaron, in my opinion. Because if you don't get the ball, you don't get paid. If you're not making plays, you're not going to get paid.
Exactly. In the words of Jason Ward, give him that 5-year, $280 million contract.
Yeah, I think something's going to happen here before training camp starts. I'm almost positive they're going to come to a contract agreement.
Now, how is that going to affect your guys' cap? I mean, right now you're sitting at what, $23 million, and obviously next year you're going to have more. But you think they're going to front load the contract to where it can help out next year even more? Like give them that 260, 280, whatever ballpark, and give them like 80 to 100 guaranteed. You going to think you're going to front load it?
Possible. We got Bakhtiari and Aaron coming off the payroll here. I don't think Bakhtiari's off the payroll yet, but I think most of Aaron is, and that was $60 million right there.
Yeah.
So, but we definitely had cap space free up because in the years past we haven't been able to go out and get a big time free agent like McKinney or Jacobs. So
McKinney was definitely the shocker pick for me.
Yeah,
because I thought Dallas or Seattle was going to go after him because Seattle lost Jamal Adams, and Cowboys always need secondary help. I don't care who you are; they always try to sign somebody in the secondary. I thought Seattle or Cowboys were going to get him, and then when you guys signed him, it was a shock for me. I was like, "Damn, now we got to worry about him."
I just can't believe the Giants let him go.
The Giants are a dumpster fire right now, bro. They're keeping Daniel Jones.
Well, yeah, because they paid him.
Come on, though. Come on. Even look, you saw the draft video of Malik Neighbors, right? When they signed him, he was like, "Damn it, damn it."
Yeah, but you just signed Daniel Jones to a huge contract. How dumb would you look the next season letting him go and being out that money?
We've seen dumber things.
I'll be quiet on that one. When you hear Green Bay, what comes to mind?
Bastards. I just think of the years of rivalry that we had. It's even like I said, the score, the streak favors to you guys. It's 10-0 right now.
Yeah.
But there is always plays where whether we're losing, we're neck and neck, where it's always exciting. I don't know what it is. My blood doesn't boil as hard over Packer and Bear games. So I think. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, how were you on the night when we came back from 21-3?
I was drinking heavily. I went through 3 cigars that day.
All in the game?
Yes. I went through 3 cigars. Every Sunday when I watch football, I smoke 2 cigars.
Okay.
One during the first half and the second during the second half.
It's crazy. Are they Cuban cigars?
No, Nicaraguan. I smoke Nicaraguan and Dominican because Cubans are overrated, and I will tell everybody that to their face.
Yeah, I suppose you're in Florida, right? So you're close to the production or whatever, I guess, of that in a way.
Say that one more time.
You're in Florida, correct? So you guys probably have more exotic smoking selections on there than say somebody in Wisconsin.
There's definitely a lot of cigar bars in this area. I can go 30 minutes anywhere and run into a cigar shop. So I don't see a lot of Cubans much because importing Cubans is, I think, still illegal. So the closest that we get is Nicaraguan and Dominican. I've had my fair share of Cubans, but I still stand on this hill that Nicaraguan is better.
Okay. Most hated Packer.
Clay Matthews. I will say Clay Matthews. I hated that arrogant little son of a gun all the time. He watched film so well. So that's one thing I can respect and hate about him. He watched film so well that he was able to call plays out every single time, no matter what the team was, no matter who the team was. He would call out their play and negate it every single time. So I would say Clay Matthews is my most respected and hated Green Bay Packer.
Okay. That wraps it up for the sports questions. I'm going to ask you some random life questions.
Let's go ahead.
If time and money weren't an issue, what hobby would you get into?
If time and money weren't an issue, cigars. The cigar community is so huge down here, and I don't see myself leaving anytime soon because my girl is about to graduate college and she doesn't want to leave Florida.
Okay.
So if time and money weren't an issue, I'd probably do my own cigar thing, either selling it, opening a shop, and doing my own thing. I don't know too much behind the scientific side of them to make my own. I'm pretty sure I just pay somebody to do it, which then again falls into time or money. I just pay somebody to figure out a blend that I like and have it made my way. So if I had to, it would be cigars and making sure people in my circle were taken care of.
Yeah, for sure. What fictional place would you like to go to the most?
Ooh. Fictional, like Narnia.
I would go to Bikini Bottom.
Bikini Bottom? Why Bikini Bottom?
Just because it seemed like it'd be a good group of people to hang out with.
Well, that's what I was thinking with Narnia. You got minotaurs, you got centaurs, you can drink with all these guys, smoke tobacco with all these guys, know all their story, their history. Narnia would be great.
I can go and give Squidward a hard time, or Mr. Krabs, or
walk into Krabby Patty and walk into Krusty Krab and just not order anything.
Yeah. What takes up too much of your time?
Work.
That's the answer I get from everybody.
Yeah, work takes up a lot of my time. I work, 50 plus hours every week, and the only free time I get are on Saturdays and Sundays, and it's usually spending time with my girlfriend, or I volunteer at an American Legion in this area. Like this morning, we just got done cleaning up. I dropped my cigar. This morning, we just got done cleaning up the entire backyard, making it look nice to get ready for the 4th of July festivities that we're all doing this weekend.
Okay, you guys doing fireworks?
Usually the church across the street does, and sometimes you have to pay for parking there, but we have a fence that we all just pop up chairs and watch them pop off fireworks because it's on our property.
Right. What's the best way to start the day?
Waking up, getting my energy drink, and putting my best foot forward on trying to make the day as best as I can. I can't control it. I don't want to control it. I'm kind of a go with the flow guy. I try to make the best out of it.
Are you a people watcher?
Definitely. I'm one of those ones where I sit my girlfriend in a comfortable spot while I watch the door and watch everybody.
Yeah, there's times like where, if you go to the mall and you get tired and you just kind of sit down and just watch people and how they interact. And
yeah, look at this weirdo.
Well, I'm the one sitting there watching people.
I go to the flea market here in the area, and they have like a little sit down restaurant area, and my dad and I will go and we'll people watch. like who let that guy out? Like, why is he here?
Yeah, why is he buying that? He doesn't need that.
Down in Florida, you got a lot of sugar daddies too. So like
Oh,
you see like 60, 70, 80-year-old men with like 20, 18, 20, young 30, good looking women, and you're just like, yeah, that's money. That's money right there. We know
yeah,
why you're with them.
yeah.
Hey, respect the hustle though. Respect the game.
There's not much game if it's money involved, though.
That's why they got Blue Chew out there now. They got Viagra on the go for these guys.
What are you most looking forward to in the next 10 years?
Comfortability. Most people say success, but success always comes and goes. You either be successful and fall off, or you fall off and become successful. I want to live a very comfortable life where I'm very happy with what I have.
Right.
I don't want to push too hard to where I stress myself out, die at a young age because I'm too stressed out. I want to be happy and not struggle.
That makes sense.
I broke my cigar and now I'm trying to save it.
What or where is the most interesting place you've been?
I've been to the Bahamas. And that's the only out of country place I've been to. It's so beautiful over there. The water is nice. The people are very friendly. My ex-wife is from there, so I got to go over there a few times. And it's never a dull moment over there, honestly. So if I had to, I think the Bahamas would be the best place I've been to.
Okay. What is the luckiest thing that has happened to you?
I met the girl I'm with now. I was after my divorce. I wasn't really like sad about it. It was kind of I had a feeling it was coming moment, so I kind of came to terms with it. But at the same time, I went down the rabbit hole of I'm by myself. I can do what I want. I don't care about me. Who else is gonna care about me? So I was smoking excessively. I was drinking excessively. I didn't really have a goal in life besides working myself to death. Really, work, come home, smoke, drink, play video games, watch TV, watch highlights. So I want to say the luckiest thing that's happened to me right now is the woman that's coming in my life now. We hit 1 year in August, and we hit 11, 11 months dating this month.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'd have to say for me, it was meeting my wife when I did. Her first impression of me when she saw me was, "Who the fuck is that?" Because I was
Why is this weirdo talking to me?
so drunk. But we've been together for we've been together for July, and we have 5 kids together. So,
oh yeah, that's
yeah,
a major
that was
accomplishment.
yeah.
Congratulations
So
to you.
that's probably the luckiest. Yeah, because I was at a point where I was just like, I'm just gonna enjoy living the single life, and next thing you know, boom, back in your relationship again, and the rest
That's
is
how my
history.
girl and I were. We both were kind of cruising, seeing people, doing our own little thing, enjoying the single life. And believe it or not, we met on Facebook dating. And I invited her out on a date, and it just went off from there. So
Yeah,
I'm very, and she doesn't like men. She does not like guys. She's not gay or bi. She had that mentality of men are good for one thing, right? And I broke it, and it was so hard, dude. I'm telling you, there was one night where she texted me. She goes, "I'm done having dinner with my parents. I don't want to go out. Do you want to get a drink?" I was drinking with my parents. I finished my drink, put it down. I told them I'm out, and they're like, "Where are you going?" I was like, "This girl invited me out. If I don't take the chance, I'm never gonna get it again."
sometimes you just know. What are some things you've had to unlearn?
To unlearn,
Yeah.
I had to learn to unlearn to really stop caring about people who don't matter. Like you had those people you talked to, you had those people that you hung around with, but they didn't really do anything for you.
Right.
So I had to unlearn how to be such a people pleaser. I had to unlearn how to be the social butterfly that I am. I had to unlearn to just stop talking to anybody and everybody. Just only let the people in that I feel is worth my time, that I feel is worth me putting time and effort into, is what I had to unlearn from being a people pleaser.
Yeah. Only please those that mean something to you and that are interested in you every day, not just for certain things.
Mm-hmm.
I'll ask you two more, then I'll let you get on with your Sunday afternoon. What do you take for granted?
Ooh. That's a loaded question. I would say I'd take time for granted. There's not a lot of it during the day. You get what, good 16 hours out of the day, and like we mentioned earlier, working takes up most of it. So
Right.
any chance I get to spend time with, my grandfather, he's my last uh, grandparent. So I go out and do things with him. I take time, spend time with my parents because they're only here for so long. I spend time with my girl who is full-time worker, full-time college student. So I take time for granted. Do everything you can, as little as you can, and enjoy it as best as you can.
Perfectly said. And then the last question, what gets you fired up besides the Bears?
Well, besides, it's not Bears related, but I'm going to say football season. I'm a huge, I will say it, I'm a gambler in football. I make most of my money during football season. And on top of playing fantasy, I put bets in. I watch everybody. And so football, whenever it's over with, I'm always sad. It's never just, the Bears losing out in the playoffs and now I'm just stuck watching everybody else. I'm fired up for football season. Football season is my fire up, is my hype of everything coming up to it. Like my girl knows that if the Bears are playing Sunday, we ain't doing anything. If the Bears are playing Thursday, we ain't doing anything. If the Bears are playing Monday, we ain't doing anything. It's football and then everything else. And she's cool with that. I'm actually taking her to, because she's a Patriot fan. I'm taking her to her first Patriot Miami game because Miami's 2 hours from me. So I'm going to take her there for her first NFL game.
That's cool.
And you be bet. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna wear Patriot gear, but the biggest thing on my body is gonna be like a Bear shirt or something like that. I wear a Patriot hat in support, but I will probably wear my Chicago Bears shirt.
Yeah, I don't think you could catch me wearing another team. Well, I take that back. I do have a Oakland Raiders Charles Woodson jersey because he's my favorite. So
Favorite player all time.
Yeah. So when he made the switch from Oakland to Green Bay, I was over the hill excited. So yeah. Well, listen, it's going to wrap it up. I want to thank you, and hopefully when it gets closer to the season, maybe I can have you on again, if you don't mind.
I'm 100% down. I thank you for inviting me on the pod.
Absolutely. I had a blast, man, and I'd say go Bears, but I can't really support that.
No,
so.
You already said it, and I'm going to clip it. I'm going to clip it right there where you're saying go Bears in the back.
Go ahead and say it. Go Pack, go. Well, listen, thanks also, and you have a good rest of your day.
You too, brother. Thank you so much.
Yep. Take care.